up, everybody? It is Monday, September 12th, 2016. This is Radio Tokyo. I'm Jonathan. I'm here. Nick's here. And we got shit to talk about today, don't we, Nick? Not as if we don't ever have shit to talk about, but I mean, we have new shit to talk about today, I guess.
Like Legion?
No, we're not talking about Legion. We already talked about it, and we did like several shows about it. I don't know why you don't remember this.
I mean, I know we have, but I still want to do more. I want to do more, damn it.
No.
We will do more at some point. We will do more at some point.
No,
Yes.
we have had enough of talking about Legion for, I don't know, a week or more. I don't know.
No. We will talk about it later. We'll talk about
I want to talk about your new favorite content creator on YouTube for a second.
I mean, I've never heard of him before, thank God. And I hate you for showing me him.
You're welcome.
And yeah, that's the saddest person I've ever seen.
Okay, look, for those of you who are wondering what the fuck we're talking about, I'm talking about Egghead. Nick, I don't think you have ever really watched The Drunken Peasants. I have never been on the show. It's fine. I'll just wait for my invitation, guys. Anyway, okay. I want to say this, and I want it to be clear. I'm not saying this to badmouth this young man, okay? But please, for God's sakes, you worked in film editing. The show you did today had 3 minutes of intro time. 3 minutes, okay? Now, like 45 seconds or so was the old-timey we'll be right back type thing, and then the rest of it was your intro music and the countdown, and then you leering off screen. Just please, look, I like you. I think that, all things considered, like everything that everyone has accused you of doing, everything you admitted to doing aside, you could be amazing, and I'm not saying you're not already. I genuinely respect Egghead and the work that he does, but just the 3 minutes of intro time, no, that doesn't work for me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just had to say that and get it off my chest.
I mean, it's like just wasting your life for no reason. No one wants 3 minutes of intro for anything. No one for anything.
And I'm sorry. See, like, Nick and I, we try not to talk negatively about other people on YouTube. Like, that's like, I think maybe other than Nicole Arbor, that's about the only time I've ever had anything negative to say towards somebody on the show. And I actually feel bad doing it, but I feel like if I don't say it and, move on from having said it, that my life will be so bad. So just please don't do 3 minutes of intro. Please, god damn. Like, it wouldn't matter to me if it was Game of Thrones or a movie, anything. I don't want to sit there. I mean, I'll be honest, I was so tempted to not watch the episode today. I mean, I really was, and I felt bad for feeling that way.
I mean, I want to skip the intro on TV shows that are like 30 seconds long.
I skip the intro to our own shows when I go back and watch them, and that's maybe 30 seconds.
Yeah. No one wants to watch all that. No.
But yeah, that's actually the single harshest criticism that I have of Egghead. So, like anything else I could talk about, I don't care. I think that once it was on Drunken Peasants and it was settled on there, and he did his response video, explanation, everything, I think that's the end of it. So let's move on collectively, YouTube, away from this. There's other things to talk about, like how Nick is still a robot.
I'm still not a robot.
Shut the fuck up, you're a robot, we all know it.
It makes no sense for you to think that I'm a robot. How am I a robot?
Because I said you are. Because I said so. But, okay, look, okay. We do have an actual topic for today. Nick, this is a complete surprise to you, I'm sure. But there's actually two things I want to talk about today, and I'm kind of just trying to decide which one I want to fuck. We're going to talk about Donald Trump, okay? Like, in all seriousness, I know a show dedicated to Donald Trump is like a nightmare for us to do, so I know that it is for our audience. But I want to talk about Donald Trump because uh, from the Young Turks. It was Shane Cougar live streaming to YouTube, and I watched it, and he said basically that Donald Trump, on September 11th, 2001, actually was on live TV, like via phone, and he was talking about how this is a couple hours after the towers had fallen, and he decided to mention the fact that his building was originally the tallest building on Manhattan, and then when the towers fell, they became the tallest one again. And I thought, okay, Jank, I think maybe you're reaching at straws here. So I went to Google, and I looked at Google, and Google is not my friend, apparently, because Google told me the truth. Yes, this was a real thing, and I even got to watch the video about it, okay? Like, not not Shank's video, but I mean the actual interview. And I don't know if Trump was actually suggesting, well, rather, he wasn't suggesting, he was stating a fact. I think it was more bragging. You know, like, I'm not convinced he was actually bragging about the building height. I think he was just stating it, and we've known for years that he has no fucking filter between brain and mouth. So I think it was just him rambling in his Donald-esque way, and he said some shit, and now here it is, 15 years later, people are trying to use it to attack him.
The power of the internet is amazing. I mean, I haven't seen the video, but it's a really dumb thing to say, for one. It's just dumb. This is the kind of thing that will cause international crisis if he's elected.
It was dumb. That's the thing. It was stupid. But I mean, God damn, I can't believe I'm saying this in defense of him.
Wait. Besides the fact of him being a complete and total asshole and bragging about the building being taller now or something, the sheer stupidity of it is annoying. It's just, why would you want someone that dumb to be in a president?
I wouldn't. Now, I know some people who would, and that's, look, okay, I'll be honest. We're like a month and a half away from election day, and if you're voting for Trump, I realize at this point in time I'm not going to convince you of doing anything else. So I'm glad to see people who are genuinely interested in voting for him for whatever fucking retarded reason they have for doing it, owning up to it and saying, yes, I'm voting for Trump. That's awesome. There are still people who haven't made up their mind yet, though. So, if you've decided to vote for him, awesome. If you decided to vote for Hillary, awesome. I don't give a shit. I'm moving on. Goose frab. Anyway, I don't know why it's a controversy that the man says stupid shit at this point in time. I mean, we've had well over a year in this election cycle of him saying the dumbest shit possible and being fact-checked left and right, and then, oh, look, Donald Trump said something else stupid, haha, but it was 15 fucking years ago. It was 15 years ago, okay? Now, I'm not saying the 15 years ago thing to emphasize the fact that 9/11 was 15 years ago, because it was. It was. It was 15 years ago. Okay, let's just get that clear here. Okay, 15 years ago. I'm saying it because I think it's important to acknowledge the fact that this was 15 years ago, and all it really does is serve to show that he has a history of saying stupid shit. And again, I'm not convinced that he was saying it to brag. I think when he was asked about the damage, because the question asked of the man was there any damage to your building, which was about 3 or 4 blocks away from the trade towers, when they fell. And as we know, there was maybe a block and a half, 2 blocks or so of debris that was spread around where the towers were at. So it was logical a few hours later to ask if anything hit his building. It makes sense, okay? But his response of, well, originally when they built mine, it was the tallest, and then they built the towers, and now they're gonna. Da, da, da. It was just this rambling Donald response, and I just whatever. I don't give a shit. Like, what relevance does this have? This to me is not as bad as what we talked about on Friday. It's really not as bad as we talked about on Friday. And if those of you who don't remember or you didn't watch the show, and I don't know why you wouldn't watch the show on Friday. I mean, come on, people. Anyway, it's not as bad to me as the jokes that were made at the roast of Rob Lowe. I'll be honest with you. Now, I am not going to pull a full-on Mark Dice here and accuse these people of being anti-American. I'm not going to say, how dare you desecrate the memory of 3,000 Americans. Da, 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 da. I'm not going to do that shit, okay? I think, honestly, the comedians need a fucking break. It's been 15 years. Yesterday, I wish I could find it fast enough I would read the whole thing. It was a letter from a veteran that was published, and he said, please move on. Please, move on, okay? And the reason that he said this is because he said, we have long since gotten our revenge on these people, but every year we have to do the reading of the names. Every year, everyone switches their profile picture to a flag and the towers. Every year, someone says, never forget. Every year. It's been going on for 15 years. We don't do this with the Alamo. We don't do this with Dunkirk. We don't do this with Pearl Harbor. We don't do this with My Lai. We don't do this with any other instance other than 9/11. We cannot let it go. And I get that everyone's outraged by it. I was outraged when it happened. I'm still outraged now. But it's been 15 years, and the fire of anger is no longer enough of me that I want to say bomb the living shit out of those people over there. Now, if that makes me un-American for saying that, that's fine. Go ahead, label me un-American. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend that 15 years later, I still want to bomb these brown people in the green parts of North America. I don't care anymore, okay? It was 15 years ago. Anyway, going back to this man's letter for a moment, he said, like I said, we have long since gotten our revenge. We lost 3,000 Americans on 9/11, and we lost about 8,000 soldiers in combat against the terrorist forces, okay? Now, that's not including anyone who was just injured. That's actual death. There's about 8,000 combat deaths related to the war on terror, which we should know at this point in time was a miserable failure because there's still terrorism in the world. We didn't win. It's just like the war on drugs didn't win. The war on poverty didn't win. All these other little stupid wars that we've waged over the years has never really won anything, okay? So that's before you consider the fact that there's upwards of 1 million people who were killed or injured or displaced by our actions in Iraq and in Afghanistan, okay? We completely ruined the economic structure of 2 separate countries over having 3,000 people killed in one day. That's the end result of this. And if you want to make it even more, like to where it hits more at home, consider this one simple fact here, okay? We sent all these people to war, and when we came back, we're like, oh, well, sorry, we can't take care of you. We undercut the military budget in every way possible, which is not a terrible thing because we spend 51% of our national budget on the military. Okay, it's not a terrible thing to undercut it a tiny bit. Now, I'm not saying that losing a full quarter like we talked about on Friday is a good thing. But I'm saying that when we undercut the military budget, we think of it only as taking money away from planes and ships and shit like that. No, that money actually comes out of the pockets of veterans because there's an organization called the Veterans Administration that's intended to look after veterans, and we have 22 veterans a day commit suicide in this. I'm sorry, I'm getting kind of emotional thinking about it. It pisses me off. We have 22 veterans a day who commit suicide in this country. Okay, I'm talking about not just people who fought in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. I'm talking about people that are my age, like in their 20s and 30s, who went overseas 10,000 miles away from home and shot at other human beings because planes were flown into our buildings and they can't get the psychological help that they need. I have had conversation after conversation with veterans about this shit, and it breaks my heart to know that we're not doing anything to help these people after we've brought them home. That's not okay to me. Okay, that's what I think 9/11, the whole Heroes Day. I think that's what it ought to be about. I think everyone, I'm goddamn, like I know it's you know Patriots Day or whatever stupid title we want to give it, but everyone sits back on Facebook and writes a post about I remember where I was at, what I was doing, and then they go back to their lives the next day. No, goddamn it, pick Patriots Day and say, hey, look, I'm gonna go clean up just one grave of one person who was killed in the war on terror. Just say I'm gonna go to my neighbor's house who I knew, who I know was in Afghanistan. He served 3 tours in Afghanistan, and I'm gonna shake his hand. I'm gonna do something to try and improve someone's life. Instead, no, we sit back and we get angry all over again, and it's like the 3,000 people have to die every year because of this, and then you have to add on the other 8,000 people that we lost doing that, and then the upwards of 1 million people that we killed and displaced and everything else. And it's bullshit. It's bullshit to me, and I'm tired of it. I'm genuinely tired of it. And the whole Trump thing yesterday, really, it didn't piss me off at Trump. It pissed me off at America in general, because it's like, goddamn. It,
John,
yeah,
you okay?
no, I'm not okay. I'm angry. I'm sorry. I'm so flustered over this shit right now because it's like we sit here and we beat the drums and everything every year over 9/11, and then we don't ever do a fucking thing about it. Like no one does anything, and the only reaction it gets is how dare you question our troops? Like how could you be anti-American? And yesterday while watching that shit, like watching the video, I started thinking about something else. There's a law that was passed in 2005, I think. It's called the Stolen Valor Act. Now, stolen valor videos are fairly popular amongst veterans and military enthusiasts. I admit I watch stolen valor videos quite often, okay? Um, Not because I think it's hilarious to mock other people, for pretending to be a soldier. It's more because I watch them because I would actually like to learn, like how you spot the difference. Okay, uh, but I got to thinking about the whole stolen valor thing, and Trump has bragged about how he went to military school and he's obviously capable of leading the military because of that. Whatever. That to me is stolen valor. Okay, but not like someone who's wearing camouflage and walks into a store during winter, during hunting season, walks in a store to get some kind of snack because they left the woods. There are seriously fucking videos out there of people being attacked, like verbally assaulted, for doing this shit. How dare you respect our troops? You're wearing camouflage. Yes, I've been out hunting. No, you're disrespecting our troops. That's stolen. I mean, it blows my mind that America does shit like this. Like our country just it's like, oh look, we see a soldier and we all collectively get an instantaneous erection thinking about the military. It's like, fuck yeah, the military. Okay, like I said, 22 vets commit suicide a day. Okay, my father is a vet. Okay, I have uncles who are vets. I just on the street that I'm on right now, one, two, three, three veterans within like 10 feet of me. Like, I mean, just literally across the street. All live in my neighborhood. It's a thing, okay? Every third Saturday, I go to the Elks Lodge and I have breakfast with a room full of veterans, and I thank every damn one of them, okay? It genuinely bothers me that we do this as a country every year, and then we get so pissed off that someone doesn't bother to stand up for the national anthem, or someone questions the validity of someone's service, like in the Stolen Valor video, or we do this and we do that, and then the rest of the time we just don't fucking care. We just don't care, and it pisses me off. It genuinely pisses me off. 22 people a day should not be committing suicide because the United States does not care about our military. And let's be realistic, we don't care.
It's one of the weird kind of things, and I mean, I grew up in a military family, more or less, and my mom served, my dad served. They didn't go to war because we luckily weren't at war when we were serving, but my uncle served, my aunt served. Um, I I have a lot of military family, and the the main problem I actually see tends to be from non-military people that they they just don't understand what the military's for, or the sacrifice that troops make, or what we should be spending money on concerning our military, which is our troops and taking care of them. And it really bugs me. Especially how eager we are to constantly go to war. And just, go blow things up. Nothing bad will happen, right?
You know what else pisses me off about that, though?
Right? What?
The whole, we need to just go bomb the shit out of people reaction. It's like, whenever we're not at war, well, we don't need to be the police of the world, but yet, okay, your reaction is because some asshole over in France shot some people in a theater. Go bomb the Muslims! Bomb the Muslims! I want to see their whole desert country turn to glass! Why?
Yeah,
Why?
well, that doesn't sound like police. That sounds more like
Terrorist.
Evil. Yeah, there you go.
It sounds like
Apparently
fucking
they
terrorists.
don't want us. They don't want us to be the police of the world. They want us to be the terrorists of the world. Congratulations, America.
And then these same people will bitch and moan whenever anyone says American culture is too violent. We need to take away your guns because we're worried you might kill somebody. No, you can't take away our guns, just like you took away our jobs. Nobody's taking away your job. You just got fat and lazy and didn't want to go to work, so you quit your job and you're replaced by someone who will work cheaper than you. That's how capitalism works. I
Well,
know
not
I
only
brought this up
that,
on.
you literally won't do the job. Like in California, where they'll pay farmers $15 an hour, or farm workers $15 an hour, but no one wants to do the job.
Exactly. And then when you get someone who will do the job, that fucking Mexican took my job from me. You didn't go after the job. Like for God's sakes, I was talking to my brother, who's a Trump supporter. I don't know why. Anyway, uh, talking to him the other day, and we're talking about people having jobs and everything, and he had some creative insults to say about me because I haven't actually gone out and had a job for a while, but I have been doing other things. And I'll be honest, like I'll go ahead and say it plainly: the acquisition of money is no longer the driving force in my life. Period. It's not. Hadn't been for a long time now. Um, but like doing our show, you know, I don't think the audience is aware of this. It like at least on like I don't know how much time you spend doing this, Nick, but I spend a lot of time looking at the news. Like if we're gonna talk about something like the fucking Donald Trump thing, that led me off into watching a half dozen other things. I do actual research for our show. I know, surprising, someone who talks about things and actually researches it. Ta-da! But that's what I do, and he thinks that that is not a fitting use of my time. And he's tried to insult me and call me stupid and everything else, for being the smartest person he knows, which he's said for years now. So, my brother, anyway, back to what we're talking about. He was saying that he knows a half dozen white people who don't have a job because a Mexican took it. And I said, why don't they do something else? Well, you just don't get it. They're trained to do this job, but they're having to let their family suffer because they can't go to work. And this is the same person who's told me for years that you do what you have to do to take care of your family. So you're going to tell me that all of your white friends are going to sit there and bitch and moan because they're too proud to go get a minimum wage job to try and help out their family, or do like another person does, or do like a large portion of people that are in the 30 to 35 year age range do, and do 3 minimum wage jobs. Because and see what blows my mind is when he talks about it, he says people who work minimum wage are essentially the scum of the earth. Like they need to improve themselves. Well, you don't understand. These people, on average, have to work 3 jobs because to literally make ends meet in the United States or anywhere else on minimum wage, you actually just in the United States, you have to work 100 hours a week. Everyone else is supposed to get that 40-hour work week. Well, the people on minimum wage have to work 60 hours more than that just to be able to pay their bills, just to be able to eat food, just to be able to put gas in their vehicle, just to be able to take care of their kids, and all these basic things that they need. That's making ends meet, okay? That's not talking about saving up for a trip down to Rio, or going to the movies every night, or whatever stupid bullshit everyone else does that has the money. That's making ends meet. That's doing all the important shit. It takes 100 hours a week to do that. That is the majority of a week. That's the majority. Like we're looking at 3-4 days here spent working out of 7. Okay, and that's spread out because you can't do that all in one big chunk. Like that's nearly every day. These people don't get a day off to work minimum wage. To sit there and insult these people and say that they need to do better than that, that's terrible to me. It's terrible to me. And to say that your friends think so highly of themselves that they couldn't possibly do that, but yet they'll do whatever it takes to take care of their family, that's hypocrisy. It's an insult to people who actually do something to take care of themselves. And I say this, and I know I probably shouldn't say this publicly. My brother has been married 4 times. That means he's had 3 separate divorces. He's dangerously close to getting a divorce right now. And do you know where he is right now? He's living inside my parents' camper, which is in our front yard. Yes, I said our because I still live here, because I said before, my mother is disabled and she has to have extra help. Okay? I have a reason for being here. It's to take care of my mom. He doesn't. He's not living with his wife right now. He's not even having full-time custody of his son, who he does have custody over. His son's over at his mother's house. Okay? So my brother is sitting over here in the camper. His wife is in one town. His son is just outside of the city that we live in right now. And he's bitching at me about how I don't know how to manage money. And I don't have any concept of getting out in the real world and doing anything. If that's my example, I don't want to do that. I'd rather sit here and do our show 3 days a week and make like 15 fucking cents a month off of YouTube doing it. I would rather do that. I would much rather do that. Okay? Because I'm not going to lower myself to the level of being white trash and saying that everyone else is beneath me because you won't get a job. No, your friends are fucking lazy. Okay, your friends are just lazy motherfuckers, and you're being a hateful bigot, and that's why you're voting for Trump. There we go, full circle.
I mean, it's it to me. It's basically kind of like the military we were talking about earlier. How people that aren't doing the things, or aren't trying, uh, are the ones to criticize, or to talk about what people should be doing, or what
Exactly.
other people should be doing. It's a very odd. I don't know when America decided, or some of the American people decided that they know best for everyone else.
That would be around the time the country got formed, and we allowed slavery here, because it's like, fuck me, I'm wealthy enough to have a little bit of money to get by. I'm gonna start telling those people over there that I own what they can do. And see, here's the fucked up thing, and this is actually a good segue into the other topic I want to talk about, because apparently this is just Jonathan bitching today. Anyway, yes, we've outlawed slavery in the United States. Yay, wonderful, but yet we now have corporate masters rather than actual masters. And these corporate masters decide that they can just stick their fucking fingers into everybody's business. Everybody's business. Like for example, look at Walmart. Look at Walmart, okay? They had a policy a while back, which I believe that they have retracted since then. This stupid policy would say that all the employees had to wear a vest. And Walmart is the only place that can buy the vest. Like, you can't go to JCPenney and buy the vest, which makes sense. It's a Walmart vest, right? So you're buying your vest from your business, which is fine because places like Lowe's and other places will do that, okay? So you go get your vest from Walmart.
Sure.
It's not like something that they give you. It's that you actually buy it from them. And it takes about a day's worth of wages from Walmart to get this vest. Okay? So that's like $8 an hour, and it takes, like $40 or whatever to get the vest. So you're looking at close to a day, close to a full work day to get your vest from Walmart that you have to buy from them. And then they suggest that you have a certain type of shirt underneath that, and then you have to have khakis, and then you have to have shoes. And guess where you can get all of that from? So your first paycheck, maybe even your first two paychecks, go to Walmart. Like, the company is so fucking greedy, they take at least your first paycheck back from you to give you your uniform. And this is a $13 billion per annum corporation. That's what they make. They can probably afford to do that, but they don't. In fact, Walmart is so terrible of a corporation towards their workers that they have been ranked consistently for, 10, 15 years now at number one for paying their employees the least. And I don't just mean that in, the hourly wage. I mean in every facet of payment, okay? This is a company that was able to opt out of providing just basic affordable care coverage to their employees, which honestly would not cost them that much money. In fact, if you want to know how much it costs, take the average amount of a plan and look at the total number of Walmart employees you have and do some math. Okay, you're not looking at anything more than maybe at most $1 billion, maybe, and that's very iffy because Walmart doesn't keep a set number of employees all the time. Okay, if you don't believe me, go to your local Walmart and tell me how many fucking lanes are open on a very busy shopping day. Okay, that's how you know. Anyway, Walmart opted out of Affordable Care Act coverage because they simply did one thing. They reduced the hours of their employees. Okay, to qualify for Obamacare coverage as the minimum wage employee, you have to earn 30 hours a week. Okay, Walmart cut everyone's hours back to 29 hours just so they can avoid paying it out. So you're looking at maybe maybe a billion, and that's understand that's me being generous. Out of their $13 billion revenue that would have been spent on healthcare, you're looking at maybe a couple $1 million worth of clothing. They're not losing that much money in the. I mean, we're realistically talking about a grand total that's probably no more than a billion. Okay, and that's every year for their employees. But and that's plus what they spend on training and everything else on them. Okay, so just giving them basic health care, giving them something to wear at that while they work, and paying them well, and understand 8, 15 an hour, 25, whatever the fuck it is not really that much. So we're going to pay them all this, and we wonder why it is everybody hates Walmart. Why it is every Walmart employee hates going to work and hates their job and only has negative things to say. It's because it's the master-slave relationship over again. For God's sakes, the only company that even comes close to that is actually McDonald's, and the only difference is that McDonald's does not make you pay for your shit.
Oh wait, I actually know of a company that's equally worse, or maybe worse. Because my friend used to work at K-Mart, and he actually said that Wal-mart is better than K-Mart, which is sad.
Kmart has restrictive policies, but they don't make you pay for your uniform, and they do actually give you coverage. Like it's the most minimal healthcare coverage, but they still do it. I mean, like they're still on the list of like the top 10, but they're substantially better off. And the only reason I know this is because I know someone who works in management at Kmart. She's worked there for years, and she'll happily tell you, yes, we actually are better off than Walmart. Now, the better off is kind of a payoff because hang on, because the payoff is a little better. Okay.
Well, no,
and it's weird.
The reason that he hated Kmart so much was because they had a fire and hire strategy, and they actually fired his mom and then rehired her at minimum wage after she worked there for long, over 10 years at least.
And see, here's the thing. From a corporate sense, yes, that makes sense. Now, I know that's made me instantaneously the villain here, but the reason it makes sense is because certain employees, okay, here's the thing. You wind up building longevity at a company. You know, the longer you're there, the more money you wind up making. So that increases your salary. Well, okay. It gets to a point where you're maybe a full-time employee, you know, but you've been there for forever and you are taking up a job spot. So in order to incentivize you to either move on to management or to do something else, like, I don't know, work for corporate, you know, just like that's usually what it is. It's just trying to get someone to go for management who just simply won't do that. And I know this because this is actually Walmart's policy. Walmart does the same stupid shit. They'll move you around the store within the district to do other things if you won't go for management. And we're talking about a company that 30% of their entire employees become management in some way. 30%. That's unheard of in any other corporate structure in the world. 30%. Which is good because once you become management, you make so much more money. Like you get healthcare coverage, you get decent hours and everything. Okay, but Kmart, like I said, does the exact same thing. They want their employees to move up in the world, or to take on new responsibilities, or to do something. And when you don't, they're like, okay, look, we're gonna have to let you go, but you're gonna get to keep your job. And that's where the rehiring things come in. So you get set back to the amount of money that you should be making for what you're doing. And I totally get that. It works. It is a terrible thing to do to somebody. It's a terrible thing to do to somebody. But if you don't have the incentive to keep, like for example, if you do nothing but stand, you know, in a little booth every day and you check people out, and you're anything but a 16-year-old little girl or whatever, you need to move on and do something else. Okay? And I understand, like if someone is not physically able to do something else, That's fine. I get that. But they can give you other positions, okay? And when you're offered the position, which I know because I've seen it happen firsthand, when you're offered that position and you don't take it, they move you back there. And they keep trying to get you to do something else. They can bring someone else in because it just makes sense. It's a business. They don't want you to do the same goddamn thing all the time. You know, like eventually it becomes a waste of resources.
Yeah, no, you're just the evil villain today.
I know, clearly I am the evil villain because I'm explaining how corporations actually function in a reasonable manner, but whatever.
You're the evil villain. You've become Donald Trump today.
Fuck you.
You're Donald Trump.
See, the difference is I could never be Donald Trump because one, I would actually provide healthcare coverage to my employees, like full health coverage. I'm talking, dental, everything else. Like I'd be like, sorry, I don't give a shit if it breaks me. You're getting this coverage, okay? And I'd give pensions and overtime and all that good shit because I'd be a good boss. Except for you, Nick. Except for you, you still work for free.
I'm gonna call Sue now for
No one gives a shit.
racism
We're moving on.
and
We are moving on.
and sexism. Yeah.
We are moving on because I want to talk about Hillary Clinton. God damn, what are we doing today, Nick? We're bookending the show with Trump and Clinton. What the fuck?
I mean, I wanted to talk about Legion.
No one cares. We'll talk about it later. Anyway, okay, look. The other thing that's been going on, like it cannot for some reason leave my newsfeed. I don't know why. But the other thing that's been going on is talking about Trump and Clinton. And, well, actually, not so much Trump, but Clinton. Like it's more talking about her. And the reason being, because as most people are probably aware of, she has been coughing a lot. And there was the argument that was made that maybe Mrs. Clinton is sick. Maybe, because she's been doing the weird faces and shit for some time now, that maybe what it is that maybe Mrs. Clinton is having some kind of stroke or a seizure. Now, we don't really know what's going on, but as you like if you're watching at home right now, you'll see like on screen right now as I'm talking, just like this collage of images of her coughing, and this is all from the past, I don't know, 6 months or so. She's been doing it a lot. Okay, now on our show, I've had to mute myself because I have started coughing, especially because I have lung problems, and occasionally if I get sick, I will cough, and the more I talk, the more I cough. Okay, so I get something to drink, and I move on as best as I can. And for someone who has to do speaking engagements every day like she does, I understand, like that's kind of pressing on her. But for all the uh, everything around it has been essentially that even up to the suggestion that she has some serious mental impairment because she's made some weird, and like for example, if you think about the DNC during the balloon drop, she made that weird face, and there was a bunch of reporters who were questioning her at one point in time, and she kind of does this weird, stupid face, like a bobblehead, like a bobblehead, these big bright eyes, like that, it was like some gag reel type bullshit, okay? And the concern was, well, maybe, the blood clot she had a while back, because we know that she had to wear glasses to prevent double vision. She's had to have people walk up and kind of tap her on the shoulder and remind her who she is and where she's at and what she's talking about, stuff like that. She's had to be helped upstairs. Well, Mrs. Clinton is 69 years old, okay? 69 years old. That's, I'm not going to say how far, but that's much older than my mom. Okay, like my mom is 18. There we go. Mom is 18. Okay, anyway, older people, as you get older, and I will be honest, I'm 34, and I'm already experiencing some of this shit. The older you get, the more run down you get, the easier it is for you to get tired, the more you forget what you're talking about, and God knows I have done that, because I did that during my own campaign. I was actually at a meeting answering questions about the city, and I was talking, and just mid goddamn sentence, I forgot what I was saying, and I sat there for a full 30 seconds before I finally said, "Hey, I'll be honest, I've lost my train of thought, and I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop, you know, because I understand that it happens." So her coughing and everything, and her, having signs of physical exhaustion and reacting weird makes sense. She's nearly 70 years old. She's running for office. She has the busiest schedule in the world. I'm sure she's tired, right? It makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I would be tired.
Well, except for there was something that happened over the weekend that has apparently given brand new credence to Mrs. Clinton has got something wrong.
Okay.
Did you not hear about this?
No. I
Well,
mean, I heard or at the 9/11 thing where she had pneumonia or something.
yes, and for those of you watching at home, you're getting to see it right here on screen in front of you. This is a video that was taken, and if you watch it, like after it, the vehicle pulls up, she's standing there, like we're looking at maybe a 30-second clip here, okay? She's standing there and she's leaning like someone's having to hold her, and then she goes to take a step and she kind of slumps down, and instantaneously the crowd is around her, and they're helping her in the vehicle, okay? Yes, Mrs. Clinton has got pneumonia. That's what's been going on. A 70-year-old woman who is up 24 hours a day, traveling the country, shaking hands, kissing babies, talking to people, experiencing bacteria and virus after bacteria and virus, eating different foods. It's wearing her down, and she's sick. Lo and behold, that's all it is. It's not some kind of conspiracy. What do you know?
Wait. It's not a conspiracy?
No, it's not some kind of strange conspiracy because Mrs. Clinton is sick. Who'd have fucking
It's
thunk
not
it? Like who would have thought
It's
about it?
not
Who'd have thought that?
I thought it was aliens.
I know. And see, here's the thing. I had an argument with my mother, who is a retired nurse, about this. We were talking about all the symptoms that Mrs. Clinton seems to have going on, and I'm like, well, it could be this, it could be that. It's just like, look, Jonathan, I was a nurse. She didn't have a stroke. It's not this. You need to calm down. It's nothing that you're suggesting. And I'm like, okay, but mom, you know, there's this, like, medical knowledge has advanced in the years since she's retired. So I'll be honest, not maybe not be entirely advanced, but whatever. Anyway, point being, there's some shit going on. So all the coughing and the tiredness and the strange faces and the physical exhaustion, I get. The bitch has pneumonia. Move on. Just like I said with Donald Trump and what he said about the towers 15 years ago. It's kind of time we move on and we quit talking about how it's all this conspiratorial shit. Like, oh my God, Mrs. Clinton, she's sick, she's had a stroke, she's not fit to lead. Because I've been seeing that shit in my newsfeed, like between stupid shit from Trump and saying that Mrs. Clinton is not fit to lead because she's an old woman is insane. Okay, I mean, it's almost as insane as talking about her and saying, "Oh, well, she has wrinkles and she's has to dye her hair. And did you see the pantsuit that she had to wear? Her physical fucking appearance has nothing to do with her capability of leading the country. None, none, none. It's just like Barack Hussein Obama. Him being a black man has nothing to do with his ability to lead. Now, I've actually had a black friend call me out when I said that one time. I'm like, look, the color of the man's skin has got nothing to do with him. They're like, no, hang on a minute. It actually does. Because you have to think about the culture that he was, because he's black. That means he had to have experienced the exact same black culture. That means he has to have someone have called him a nigger, and it means he had to sit in the back of the bus and whatever goody two shoes feel, like shit you want to bring up about the plight of being a black person in the United States. No. When he was a child, yeah, his parents moved around a lot. But I don't think getting to go to the schools that he did, getting to do half the things that he's done in his life, at least half of them, is typical of the average black man in the United States. And that's not me being a racist, that's me stating a fucking fact here. Okay? He didn't eat fried chicken and watermelon every day. He didn't, do all the other racist stereotypical shit that everyone assumes black people do. No. He lived in another fucking country as a child, okay? They have a harder life there than the average person, white, black, brown, whatever the United States has. The point being, he's the goddamn president. I don't think that he became president because, he's on the front porch drinking a 40. I don't think that got the man in office. I sincerely think that the color of his skin had very little to do with his policies, like bombing the shit out of people in other parts of the country and arresting people here and wiretapping and everything else that he's done. I don't think it had a goddamn thing to do with it. And it's a ridiculous argument to me. And I'll be honest with you, the people who say shit like that are the ones who voted for him because he's black. Oh, I'm sorry, half black.
So what you're saying is, if I run for president, people are going to say I'm unfit for office because I'm in a wheelchair.
First off, you cannot run for president because you're a robot, and you have to be 35 years old. And as far as I know, robots don't really age like people. And well, actually, what's interesting? If you were built 35 years ago in the United States, and holy fuck, you could run for president as a robot, Nick.
I mean,
there's not a rule that says you can't be a robot.
As long as I'm recognized as a person, yeah.
No. Think about this. Like, really take a moment to think about this. You wouldn't have to be recognized as a person. You'd be the first legitimate robot president of the United States, and it would make sense because there's no law against it. There's none. It's like you have to be born in the United States. You have to be 35 years old. Okay. Well, robots, in a sense, are born, and you'd be American, and you'd be 35. So, yeah. Vote for Nick.
Yeah,
that's what I'm getting at.
Well, I can't run yet, but maybe next election I can. Because then I should
I would vote for it.
No, darn it. I have to wait 2 elections. In 2 elections, I will run. Very good.
Okay, that works for me. Because, see, here's the thing. I think in 2 elections, America will be ready for its first robot president, because we've had to deal with a Muslim president for the past 8 years, and then we had to deal with a dumbass president before him, and now we're going to have to deal with either a living carrot or death itself.
I mean, it'd be worse, right?
Wait, no, hang on a minute. Okay, she would not be death. Mrs. Clinton would not be death. She would be one of the 4 horsemen. Which one fits her correctly? Because I don't think there is an embodiment of all 4.
I'm not sure. I don't think she would be the plague.
Well, okay, look, she does have pneumonia, so there's an argument for that.
I guess. I would say war, maybe.
Well, we all know that she's going to bomb the shit out of people, so there's an argument for that.
I mean,
it's weird having to figure out exactly which of the four. Like, see, usually you know which of the four horsemen you're dealing with. You know, like you fucking know it. Like it's kind of obvious which one you're going to have. I mean, I can't quite figure it out because like Obama's been the Antichrist, right? So Obama's the Antichrist, you know, for the past 8 years, which it should have been 7 because I've read your book, Christians. I've read your book. It should have been 7. He's been in office for 8. He can't be the Antichrist. Nice try. So yeah, what horseman is she going to be?
I don't know. I'm still leaning towards war.
Anyway, point being, all I know is that after having a clown and having the Antichrist, and then either having the anthropomorphic carrot or the embodiment of all the four horsemen, we'll be ready for a robot.
Yeah, I think we'll be ready for anything after that.
Is the destruction of the United States really where we're going to leave off today? Like is that our silver lining? Is that we're going to get to have robot overlords in 8 years? Oh, well, 4 to 8, unless of course we know that Mrs. Clinton, because we know she's going to win. Let's be realists here. She's going to be our next president. I'm so sorry, all of you who don't want that, including myself. We all know she's going to win. It's not a question at this point in time. God damn it. Anyway, I really want to Bernie. Anyway, after 8 years of her, and we know that she's...
So many things would be better with Bernie. So many problems would not be problems. It's kind of remarkable.
I know, but see, like, okay, here's the thing. We know that she's going to... God almighty damn. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say it. We know that she's going to change the laws so she can stay on there longer. We know she's going to do that. She's going to use an executive order so she can stay in power a lot longer because, goddamn it, Obama didn't do it. Obama could still do it. Obama could still do it, Nick. Obama could still do it. He could still become a dictator. He could, but you know what else he could do?
He could save us. He could save us.
You know what else he could do?
What?
He could give us the goddamn hope and change he promised 8 years ago. Fucking asshole. Not giving me hope and change. Lying son of a bitch. Get the fuck out of office.
Wait. What if our hope is not having Trump or Clinton as president, and the change is changing the law so that he can stay president?
Because he's kind of dropped the ball in all regards of this. I mean, I think at this point in time, if he was going to take our guns, and he was going to take our jobs, and all this other shit that he was supposed to have done, he would long since done it. In fact, he's even acknowledged that he would have long ago done it. So, we're fucked. We're going to have to deal with Hillary Clinton. And I'll be honest, those out there who think that this is going to be at least 4 more years of the same shit, no. No. It's not going to be the same shit, and I'll be honest with you. I would actually prefer 4 more years of Obama, because I know what Hillary Clinton is capable of. I know. I'm not stupid. I said at the beginning of the show, I do a lot of research into the topics we talk about, so believe me, I know what that bitch is capable of doing. I would prefer to having him. In fact, I would prefer having Bush back in office. I would rather have Bush than Clinton. You're not getting 4 more years of the same shit. You're getting 4 more years of new and different shit, and it's going to be terrifying in its own way.
So,
I mean, like at least with Trump being president, we could have fun. Think about that. We're looking at 4 years of comedy gold. Yeah, like it would be like SNL during the Bush years. You know, like just the surge in popularity they had. all the jokes that wrote themselves, we would be getting that with Trump because it would be hilarious. Because I really want to see him fail to deliver on every single thing he's promised. But with Clinton, you know it's not going to be funny because there will be a woman in office and every fucking feminist out there on Tumblr will be like, yes, it's our time now. And I'm sorry, ladies, but I know it's how you talk. I know it's exactly how you talk. You sit there with your short hair with this blue color, and you're like, yes, a woman's in the White House. Fuck off. You're getting your day.
Was that like the feminist Sith Lord celebrating?
Yes, Nick. Feminists are Sith Lords. There you go. Feminists are Sith Lords.
And they took over the Empire?
No, wait a minute. Feminists are not Sith Lords. Feminists are Hutts. Think about it. Think about it. Go on Tumblr and find a traditional feminist outfit on Tumblr. Tumblr, I hate you. I hate everyone who uses Tumblr. To an extent, there's some decent people on there. I don't know why. But, okay, look. I'll be honest. Dear feminists and SJWs on Tumblr, I'm kidding. I'm having fun. I'm making a joke. Learn to accept the humor. It's okay. I haven't raped you yet.
I'm just, I don't know you sometimes.
Yes, you do. You've known me. You've known me for like a decade now, so you know that sincerely, I'm just saying it to fuck with people. So in case anyone's wondering, any joke or statement I ever make out here, it's probably said with levity. Back the fuck up off of me. It's not like I'm scrambling. It's not. Hang on. It's not like I'm scrambling eggs. It's not like I'm scrambling eggs on video and posting it on the internet, dude. Come on. When you scramble eggs, don't switch hands because you just can't use it. You don't need two people to scramble eggs. You don't need to get the yolk and everything all over your fingers like a child would. And you don't need to stir your eggs to death. Holy shit, you're on YouTube. There are videos out there, dude. Do it.
Anyways.
Omelette du fucking fromage. That's all I'm saying. Omelette du fromage. There's guides out there. Holy shit. For those of you who don't know what Nick knows what I'm talking about. Nick knows exactly who I'm talking about. Just go find it. It'll be a surprise. If you haven't figured it out by now, you will soon. It's the cringiest goddamn thing on the internet, I think.
Yeah. So anyways, please send all
now
your
we've gone
hate
full
mail
circle.
to Jonathan.
Please what?
Please send all your hate mail and hate messages to Jonathan. And I'm not here. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Since you brought up the contact information, yes, please remember to contact us over YouTube or Facebook, or for God's sake, go to our Patreon page. We're only asking for $1. I know that's a lot to ask, but $1, you know, message me on Twitter, message me over BattleTag, like if you play Blizzard games, whatever. Just reach out to us and let us know what you think. Unless you're a Tumblr user, in which case you need to go fuck yourself.
Yeah. No. But anyways, so
Tumblr!
That's the end of the show? That's the end of the show?
Yes, Mr. Awkward Pants, it is, I guess, the end of the show. Gee, thanks, Nick, for making it awkward.
Sure, I'm the one that made it awkward.
Yes, you look, we all know that you're a robot learning human interactions, so it's okay. But we'll cut you some slack because, yes, it's going to be another show for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening if you listen. Please remember to like this video, comment on it, share it, subscribe to our channel, like us on Facebook. Like I said, go to our Patreon page, message us, reach out to us. Let us know what you think. And we'll talk to all of you people on Wednesday, I guess. But what do you mean, you
Yeah.
people?
Oh god. Gotta cut this off. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.